Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Y'all hit that thumbs up button, man, on your way up in here. Hit that thumbs up. So tomorrow, my man Stephen Shaw is going to be in the ring, 13-0, taking on, I always forget how to pronounce this guy's first name, but he goes by the name of Demolition Man Pinchuk, Ukrainian. He's from the Ukraine, and I believe he fights out of Pittsburgh here in the U.S. But anyways, David Watson was good, man. He had 250 amateur fights, man. I had to do my due diligence on him when I seen he was fighting Shaw, because I had never heard of him. And he started off at cruiser, and he's 12 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. I think he has like 8 or 9 knockouts. I forget, something like that. But I watched a couple of his fights, man. It's gonna be more interesting than I thought. 250 amateur fights, like I said. I think he won like 230 or 220 of them. Kano Loco, what's good, man? I'm actually talking about the fight. You guys go subscribe to Kano Loco, man. He actually did an interview yesterday with Shaw, and I wasn't able to attend, man, because like I told you guys when I did my live a few days ago, I had a really busy week, man. Went to a funeral, wake in the funeral, man, the last couple days here, and then tomorrow, catching a flight out to Orlando. So pretty busy for me, man. Tavares Dot, what's good, fam? But y'all go check out that interview and I haven't even listened to it yet, man. I'm listening to it when I get a little bit of free time later, man. So I'm trying to give you guys some type of content. Got to run to the bank. Just a lot of stuff, man. Just a lot of little stuff I got to do. I appreciate that, Mike Wilkins. I appreciate that, man. The link is, if you can link it, yeah, you can drop the link. Let Kano go ahead and Kano, you can drop the link. Check that out. Shaw's a guy that doesn't really get looked at because, you got everybody's flocking towards Jared Anderson. And, Jared Anderson is doing this thing, but everybody's flocking to him as if, he's the next best thing. And shit, he may as well be, we will see. Shit, hopefully he does make some noise. But you can't forget guys like Shaw. Darmani Rock is another kid that I like too, man. It's just his weight. His weight gives me kind of questions about him. Although his last fight he did, because shit, literally when he turned pro, he was like going up in weight every fight. And I think his last fight he like went backwards with his weight, but it was still pretty high. I have to check BoxRec exactly, but but Shaw's somebody, man. So I'm watching this, I'm breaking these guys down, man, and I think Shaw's gonna eventually catch up to him, walk him down, and get him out of there. Pinchuk, when I watch him fight, he likes to dictate the pace by coming forward. He likes to let his hands go, and he loves this little lead left hook that he likes to throw. Shaw is, even though he's a heavy-handed big guy, he's very nimble, and he's very on his feet. And then Bruce Goes was good, and then he's very patient. He doesn't get rattled or flustered. You know what I'm saying? And he will gradually just walk you down, man, and catch and pick off your shots and parry and walk you down with hard power shots, quick hands. Underrated, in my opinion, man. Very underrated. But we can't forget guys like Jermaine Franklin and some of these other guys, man. I know Jared Anderson, with the big baby gimmick that he has going on, and the pacifier and the cool trunks and all that, and he's fighting on ESPN and getting dudes out of there. And he's a young guy, but can't forget about the other ones, man. And there's a plethora of other guys. Coffee, there's a whole bunch of them, that I can sit here and list. But definitely don't want to forget about Stephen Shaw fighting tomorrow, right? I did see Vlad Sarenko. He did pick up a victory on Sunday. He improves to 15-0, another Ukrainian heavyweight. And then don't forget, Friday, we got Michael Hunter in action, the bounty hunter. Another guy that's you don't want to forget about. It's just so heavy with Wilder. A lot of American fans tend to forget, like, hey, there are other American heavyweights, right? You do know that, right? But I get it. Wilder's the man when it comes to shit, not just here in America, but in the heavyweight world, period. He's one of them dogs right now, so I get it. But good up and coming guys, because Wilder's not going to be along. He's not going to be around for forever, Bruce Gold says, got to walk the dog. I'll be listening. That's what's up, man. Go ahead and get that exercise, not only for you, or not only for the dog, but for yourself as well. What else do I want to cover, man? really much. Man, I'm so pissed off, you guys, because this weekend, this would have been the weekend of the Fury Wilder 3. So I'm kind of pissed off on that, man, you know. Oh, I did see the WBO, their president came out and said that they will not be granting Anthony Joshua, you know, they would not allow him to not defend that title against Usyk because they granted him, you know, for the Ruiz rematch and then for the Pulev fight. But they did say it's up to Usyk. It's up to Usyk if he wants to take step aside money and allow Joshua to, Joshua to try to fight Fury. The thing with Fury is, man, he keeps acting like he has like these free dates, right? Like he's single or something. It's like, bro, you getting took to court, man. Like, and it's not that I don't want to see Undisputed. I do want to see Undisputed. If they made Fury versus Joshua and they said it's signed for the day and they're going to fight in a few months, man, I'm all cheers. We haven't had Undisputed since 1999. But what I'm saying is, bro, you can't lead the public astray thinking that like this is close when you're going to court. Now, maybe he's just going to go to court and they're trying to get everything panned out. But I'm not seeing this. I'm not seeing it happen without him fighting Wilder. At least that's what it seems from the outside, man. You know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm, you know, privy to what's going on inside either of these camps. I'm not. But just by looking at it, because first, remember when Fury said, I'm not going to wait on Wilder, I want my career to keep pushing forward. I'm going to fight on the 5th. Well, I mean, you guys know as well as I do, the 5th thing came and gone. You know, so, because, you know, he said the contract expired and all that. He's going to fight on the 5th and he's not going to be held up and all that. And that's cool. But the 5th is came and gone, bro. Like the 19th is right around the corner. So that's going to be a missed opportunity there. Man. You know, so looks like, to me, man, for right now, it looks like Fury and Wilder 3 is going to happen. And I see a lot of you guys are commenting on that Hurtful 8 poster that I got up with my community. And it seems like some fans aren't getting the poster. Like the poster was made a few months ago, and the poster was, it has the 8 fighters on there. Chisora, he lost to, all those guys on that poster are in direct line to a title shot. People are like, why didn't you have Michael Hunter up here? Right? And then people are like, well, why isn't Dillian Whyte crossed out? It's like, well, that's why the poster is like that. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Michael Hunter or any of these guys couldn't, guys on that run. All right, y'all at the bank making deposits. Know that the stream didn't end, man. I had to put you on mute for a second. But, yeah, man, I guess we'll see what happens with this WBO thing. Now, my thing is this, man. I want to keep the Undisputed thing intact, so I wouldn't mind. So I wouldn't mind if AJ detour, just because, look, AJ has to make sure him and S. Clayton was good, man. D. Hodges, what it do. He has to realize too, because AJ said that he doesn't want to be sitting out for months and months and months. He wants a quick turnaround. He wants to get right back in the ring. So he has to, you know, guide his career as well. He can't sit around and just wait for court dates and all that. Defend your titles, bro. Don't get a deposit slip, please? You know what I mean? Don't get stripped of your titles waiting around on people, man. You know, maintain those titles. Make that title defense against Usyk. I'm all for it. You know, so I definitely don't want to see that title. AJ says, go ahead, Usyk, you go ahead and fight for a vacant title against Joe Joyce or Joseph Parker or whoever, you know what I mean, for the WBO. And then we have to, okay, now there's another belt over here now. It's like, nah, man, let's try to keep these belts intact as much as we can. So just by the looks of it, you guys, it looks like Wilder and Fury, man, is probably going to have a third fight. Because my looking at it is just like, if Fury was not going to be waiting and all that. He just would have been fighting this month against somebody else, you know. And my thing is, if you're Fury, man, if you know you can beat this guy easy, and most fans, a lot of fans, not me, but a lot of fans didn't think Wilder won any rounds in both fights, right? I hear fans say Wilder didn't even win the 12th round because Fury got up and came on strong. And I'm like, come on, man. When have you ever seen somebody not get a knockdown and then not get the round after the knockdown? I've never, not from what I recall. But anyways, a lot of fans think he just completely schooled him, but then do it again, embarrass him again, make fun of him again. I know people say, well, why would he give somebody a shot a third fight? They've been talking all that stuff in the media. Man, this is the fight game. If you really want to get back at him, punch him in his mouth again. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these dudes talk shit, and, you know, and I understand, you know, people say, oh, but he's saying that he, you know, he cheated and all that. Well, just beat his ass again, man. What, so words hurt your feelings? Like, these is fighters, man. Like, come on, man. Like, they're getting hurt by words and accusations. Just whoop his ass. Rashid says would rather see Wilder versus Ruiz. Man, I like all them fights, to be honest with you, bro. I like Wilder Ruiz, Wilder Charles Martin, Wilder Fury again, Wilder Joshua, Wilder Usyk. I want heavyweight fights, but I want all good heavyweight fights. James Dag says the third fight was on a contractual obligation. Yeah, so let's just get this done, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Fury believes he can just beat Wilder so easy and it's just so easy work, why not just do it a third time? You know what I'm saying? Make his fans even more mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I don't get, you know, oh, because he said that he cheated, why would he give him a shot? Like, I didn't know people got their feelings hurt in boxing when it comes to words. Money man, what's good, brother? As Clayton says, contracts expire though. Well, my thing is this. I don't know. Look, I know what both sides are saying, but bro, I haven't seen the contract. Have you? I know. Fury said that, and I know Wilder said something, but bro, I'm not. See me. If I'm not privy to what's going on like that, I'm not gonna say what such and such said this. I don't know what happened. I don't know. All I know is Fury ain't fighting. I know that much. Contract expired or not, he ain't fighting. So, brother, that means something, right? Like, I know what you're saying. Well, Fury said okay, bet. I know what he said. Is he fighting though? Is he fighting this month like he said he was going to? You know, so that's how I look at things, man.
It's also a global pandemic, and that has to count for something.
Yeah. My man, Money Man says it's clear Fury is not trying to fight. By the looks of it, man, it doesn't really seem like he wants to get back in the ring with him. For whatever reason. If you think, oh, because he know he cheated, or if it's because you think, oh, well, why should he? You know, he beat him. He beat him twice. Whatever, whichever what you think. It don't seem like, because if he wanted to, wouldn't he just be in the ring with the guy? And then another thing about the contract expiring. Now, this is just me, right? Okay, so the contract expired. They got some orange juice up in here?
I'll see.
All right. The contract expired, right? When he said, I'm going to fight on the 5th. I'm not going to wait around. That made me scratch my head because it's like, well, y'all fight ain't going to be until the 19th. But you're not going to take that fight because the contract expired and then try to make a new contract for Caballero for the 5th? Or Takam? Never made no sense to me. It's like, well, damn, like, the 19th ain't even... And then around this time when this was happening, this was like in November or something. So, man, it's like a circus, man. Keeping up with this shit is a circus to me. It really is, man. Just fight the dude, man. Get it out the way. Excuse me, guys. Let AJ go ahead and fight Usyk, so none of these straps will get dropped or dispersed to somebody else. You know what I mean? But man, as a fan, bro, I really hate waiting like this, man. Like 19 years, man. It's like trying to get an undisputed heavyweight champion is like the most impossible thing to do in boxing, man. And it's always an excuse. Well, the Klitschko's are brothers. That's why they couldn't fight. Okay, bet. And then as the years goes, it's like now we're in a new wave. There's nobody's brothers. Nobody's none of that. And now we have, you know, more obstacles and hurdles, man. And just BS, man, for us. I see Dillian Whyte in the news as well, talking about he's not going to wait on Povetkin. It's like, okay, brother, I get it. You training hard. And Dillian, you got to remember, man, Dillian been back training hard since he got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He was back in the gym literally the next day. A lot of us were saying, damn, bro, Shadillian. And then they're trying to throw him right back in there like 2 months later. It's like, damn, bro. Like, but I get it. You know, I get it. But he says he's not going to wait. But I just hope, and I did see Ryan Binsky say that January 30th doesn't seem realistic no more. But my thing is, if the WBC decides to move on, and I understand, you know, but they're going to move on, though, man. They got to include Povetkin somehow, some way when it comes to that interim strap. You know what I'm saying? It can't be Dillian Whyte versus somebody else type shit, man. It has to be Povetkin. If anything, if they don't go with that fight, because Povetkin knocked them out, bro. We can't just overlook Povetkin because the fans like Dillian Whyte. Like, that's bullshit. So Whyte can have another fight against whoever he wants, whether he wants a tough opponent or Larry Lunchmeat or Joe Blow, the journeyman. That's fine to stay active and stay in shape. You know what I mean? But Curtis Anderson was good, brother. But he say he doesn't want to wait, man. So I'm not sure. You know, right now it's a lot of just speculation and we don't know what's going to happen. My man Moneyman says Joyce versus FA. I don't think FA want them problems, man. I don't think he want them problems. Don't think he want them problems, bro. My mouth is dry as hell. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this orange juice.
I just got his mug and a gift card for the guest.
Okay. But I will say about FA, though, man, you know, people get on him. Doesn't move all that well shit. He'll probably be in the ring with somebody even slower than They talking about FA Jaguar versus Joe Joyce.
Oh. That would be a good fight.
They both slow, but I think Joyce has proven that he can go a long way with this shit. But shit, man, you gotta give a Jaguar credit too, because he was an amateur fighting exactly the same way. And he's been matched pretty decent. Ali Demarinzen and Lago Kiladze and guys like that. Those are good building blocks, man, when you're an up-and-coming guy. You know? What's that, coffee?
No, it's a mug and a gift card, I said.
Oh.
Do you need anything else before we go on?
No. Nope. There's a train over there.
Yeah.
Hold on, you guys. Let me... see what you guys are talking about. D-Ray, what's good, man? Fablo says, be stuck waiting until 2022. He'll be 37. Kind of loco, he's talking to us, Clayton. Fablo says, think the reason Wilder versus Fury 3 isn't happening is money and date. Hard to see how it could have been made in 2020. Fury likely didn't want to be waiting around. However, Wilder don't want to. Underground asylum.
I won't say he doesn't want to if he's taking him to court to get the fight.
Yeah, if you're taking somebody to court, that means you want to get in the ring with them. You ain't taking somebody to court to not fight them. Tom Etheridge says fighters have up to 1 year to rematch. Fury is full of crap.
Well, we don't know what it was stated in that contract.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what's been stated in the contract. I know what Fury said, I know what Wilder said. Then we'll be playing the game of who do you believe. And I know a lot of fans were like, well shit, Mr. Boxing Fury is known to lie and stuff like that, and then you just be going back and forth with who do you believe more. That type of shit, man, and that can be just nerve-wracking. Joseph Bacon, what's up, man? He says, what's going on? The PBC, where's Martin, Konaki, Ortiz? One of them versus Joyce in Eliminator. Well, I think the last time I checked the rankings, well, shit, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. So I know Fine Parker is highly rated at WBO, and there's fights going to happen still. Konaki, brother, last I heard about Konaki, man, he's going to rematch Helenius. They already agreed. I forgot what type of agreement that was. Not of her, but they agreed to fight in a rematch. That's why I have that when I put my poll question up, who's more likely to win their rematch? Povetkin over Whyte or Konaki over Helenius. But they're supposed to rematch. And then, brother, as far as Martin, I'm not sure what Martin is doing right now, but I know he's staying in shape because I follow him on Instagram. And Ortiz, I'm not sure about Ortiz, bro. I'm not sure what's up with Ortiz, but yeah, then you got Michael Hunter fighting on Friday. I know he's talking about he wants to fight Herkovic. Hey, shout out to MrBOXINGTODAY2, man, because he really wants Michael Hunter again, and I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. If shit falls apart for Charles Martin versus Herkovic, I wouldn't mind seeing BOXINGTODAY versus Hunter in a rematch, especially if Hunter has nobody to fight, or there's nobody that he can get. And speaking of all rematches, man, you know who really should be rematching? Dan Medillion and Whyte. You know who really should be rematching? Povetkin and Michael Hunter should be ones that's really rematching right now. That's the rematch, because that ended in a draw, not a controversial decision where one fight got it. We could say, hey man, let's move on, such and such won. No, that was literally a draw. So if anybody should be fighting a rematch, it should be those two fellas, man. I know we talking about Wilder and Fury and Povetkin and Whyte and Konaki, Helenius, but man, what about Hunter Povetkin? They just went on and swept Hunter up under the rug, man. You know what I'm saying? But I know why, you know, they wanted Povetkin as a I know why Eddie Hearn wanted Povetkin more than a Michael Hunter when he fought Dillian Whyte, because of the name, and just on paper you would think Whyte would probably have the better chance beating an older guy in Povetkin, right? And all that shit. They got the rug pulled under him, having that idea. My man Haplo up in here. What's good, Haplo type? S. Clayton says, are you in a sauna? No, I'm not. I'm in the car. I'm on the highway, bruh. My man James Dag says, if Fury KOs Wilder, it's 1-1-1 with this force of fourth fight.
No.
James put that 1-1-1 up in there. Oh, he said if Wilder. Oh, I thought he said if. Okay, yeah, Wilder. Possibly. Shit. I mean, didn't Floyd Patterson and Igmar Johansson didn't they fight 4 times? Shit, Pacquiao, Marquez. I mean, shit. If it's 1-1-1, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a 4th fight. I know some people, I don't want to see it again. People, and like a lot of people saying right now, a lot of fans saying nobody wants to see the 3rd fight, and that's a head scratcher. Because bro, if you make a video about Wilder Fury 3rd fight and just talk about it, look how many views it garners. Look how much social media eats it up. You know what I mean? Of course people want to see the 3rd fight. Now there is a section of fans that don't want to see it. I get that. But to say nobody wants to, that's not true. And like thousands of people wants to see this fight, man. Again. For whatever reason, to see Wilder get beat up again, or to see Fury not cheat, or whatever your narrative is going into the 3rd fight, that's why people want to see it. Again, yes, I know there's a legion of people that don't want to see it, but I think people wanting to see it outweighs the people that don't. Just from what I grasp from my observation, all right? You may have a different look. You may go on other websites and nobody's talking about it, and people you have talked to probably say, I don't want to see. Okay, that's fine. But people I converse with, they all talking about this shit. And a lot of people want to see Undisputed as well. But if no Undisputed, you want to see Tyson Fury versus Carlos Takam? And nothing to Carlos, man, because he's doing his thing, training his ass off right now. You know, I like guys that stay in the gym, even though he's an older guy, doesn't have his chances. But you want to see that? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And no disrespect to Ajay Cabello, but shit, Cabello should be fighting Takam. To be honest with you, they should be fighting.
What do you think will win out of
My man Machiano.
Joe Joyce and Luis Ortiz?
Joe Joyce and Luis Ortiz? Whew, man. They were talking about fighting about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I was picking Ortiz. But looking at Joyce, man, if you can stop that dude in his tracks and make him respect you. Look, I can see that going to decision and Ortiz winning a decision. He does have crafty power, man. And with Joyce, look, I know he has a really good chin and he comes forward, but if you catch, I don't give a fuck how good your chin is, because I've seen him get put on his ass in the amateurs against Sergey Kuzmin. But however, that was the amateurs years ago. But if you don't see punches coming, and Ortiz has he does a good job of disguising his left hand. Even though he's old, he doesn't fight. And people get on his age, but he doesn't fight like a prime Joe Frazier, to where the older you get, his style is going to show some deficiencies. He fights very calm and calculated. He's been fighting like a calm, older fighter his whole career. Now I'm saying that to say this: he's crafty enough to catch Joe Joyce with punches he doesn't see. To where, but man, that motherfucker got a chin and he's tough. I would probably favor Ortiz, man, because Joyce just leaves too many. Look, Joyce. Look, I'm gonna tell you guys this: Joyce may be one of them fighters that I always pick against him, based on his style. Not because I think he's trash. Not, he just has one of those styles where it's like you don't think he's gonna win because he's so open to get hit, even though he's durable and tough with a solid chin and he's strong and amateur pedigree, and that's mainly why he's winning all his fights. But just his style just leads you to be like, okay, somebody gonna get through this shit and beat him, man. He ain't gonna just be able to do the Michael Myers thing where he's just taking shots and just keep coming forward like a goddamn horror movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's like Jason Voorhees, man, walking through the woods. If you fall, you know, when they fall, they be like 80 yards ahead and they make that one fall and trip over a branch, and they see, you know, he right there over him. That's Joe Joyce for you, man. But Ruiz is very crafty. He sets up that he's surgical with that left hand. Surgical, man. But can he be overwhelmed? Will he just be old overnight? Not that Joe Joyce is some spring chicken, because he's an older gentleman himself, but will he just will those reflexes and that, you know, that quick twitch, will it just disappear on fight night? And Joyce is that type of guy that will test it. But I can see Joyce losing a lot of early rounds, getting hit with clean counters and missing. But I really don't know, babe. That's a good fight. Joyce versus Ortiz. My man Kinda Local Sports. First, salute to my man P Machiano. He says, new listener, salute, bro. We need that third fight, man, after all this BS. I appreciate that, bro. Rashid says Fury wants undisputed money. My man Kinda Local Sports says that's why they are in litigation. Let the courts rule on it before all of us jump to conclusion. We need to be open to what the courts rule, since they will see the full contracts and facts. Preach. Congregation say, amen to the congregation. Preach, man. I totally agree. As Clayton says, in fairness to Fury, he was calling out Wilder for about 8 months with no response. My thing about that is this, Clayton. If you look, let's say me and you have a contract to fight in July of 2021. Okay, if you call me out and because this contract is signed, and you start calling me out in, let's say, February, why would I need to respond to you when I know we're gonna fight? Or if it's already in the contract, calling me out. I mean, what are you doing for some WWE Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake type shit? You just making promos just to make them? Are you doing it for that reason? Or what would you need to call somebody out for if you guys are already contracted to fight? If anything, he should have just said, hey man, I'm trying to shit talk the dude and he ain't responding back to me. You know what I mean? But I never got the call. I was like, well, how are you calling him out if you guys already signed the fight? That never made sense to me. But obviously there's some in that contract that just wasn't right. That's what it seems like to me. I really don't know. I guess we'll see when all this is done. Joseph Bacon says, what's going on, PBC? Okay, I read that already. I got to read a few more, you guys, and I got to get up out of here, man. Curtis Anderson, the OG, was good, bruh. Tone Bangers up in this thing says, Ajagba's overrated. Southside Boxing, what's good, bruh? 601. He says Ortiz will smash him. Shit, bro, that's what I thought the youngster was going to do too, man. He went in there and walked that youngster down and was tagging that eye up, made him say, uncle. My man Retro Boxing, the documentary, was good, blood. He says Ortiz is getting and the possibility of him just getting overwhelmed, where he may have a few rounds where he's looking slick and then Joyce just overwhelms him with the activity. He makes Ortiz fight at a much high volume pace. I can see that happening. And again, Ortiz may be able to catch him and counter him and be slick just for a few rounds until Joyce just puts that pressure on him. You know, it's just a good one, man. Fabulous says, don't think that'd be a good move for Bakole. Hunter versus Bakole 1 wasn't close. I thought it was a good slugfest, but I'm thinking Bakole thinks that he has fixed everything. And I think mentally he wants to get over it. He hasn't got over it. He wants to get him back in the ring. Jay Dill says, problem is boxing world do not talk about Hunter enough. Iron Fist says, salute. Since you missed Bakole, how did you score the fight with Kuzman? I thought the scorecards were too wide. I gave it to Kuzman, but I have no issue with Bakole winning. I had it a draw. Southside says, hell, Dillian Whyte should be rematching Oscar Rivas. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that one. A lot of fishy stuff was going on. Tone Banger says American heavyweights never get the credit they deserve until they retire. Somebody prove me wrong. And that's a lot about. Hey man, hold on. Talk about, bro. Congratulations to Vladimir Klitschko, Floyd Mayweather, and Andre Ward. Nothing against those fellas. They have nothing to do with the criteria of getting in or not getting in the Hall of Fame. I'm not understanding this, man. How is Andre Ward? Again, nothing against Andre Ward, what he's done as an Olympian. The dude lost like what? One amateur fight or something crazy like that. Olympian, champion. He fought in a tournament that a lot of dudes wouldn't do. Shout out to guys like, you know, Usyk and Gassy when they had that cruiserweight tournament and that whole little thing they do, that World Boxing, that Super Series. Shouts out to all the guys that participate in those tournaments. All right. Ward did that. So it's no ducking. You can't duck around in a tournament. You have to literally fight who's next or who they seed you against, right? Nothing against Ward. But how can a younger fighter from the generation like after make the Hall of Fame before James Toney? That doesn't make any. And I know, well, James Toney pop, you know, when he fought John Ruiz, and okay, but dog, James Toney's one of the best. James Toney's one of the best fighters of all time. How is he not a first ballot? So, how? I can't even, it's just pissing me off thinking about it, man. But shouts out to the three guys that made it, man. I'm just not sure how you don't have James Toney in the Hall of Fame first ballot. I'm not understanding. And then he's like, and then how did Andre Ward make it before him? Like, James Toney is as throwback as you can get. Usually when they say throwback, that means, at least for me in my little pea brain, right? Just for me, guy talking shit, you know, on YouTube. My thing is when they talk about throwback is guys that can start the way James fought, right? Guys that has 80 fights, shit, you know, things like that. 80 fights, fighting in multiple weight classes, fighting much bigger guys, fighting, you know, defying the odds in fights and going up and being in danger and winning fights and making guys look stupid in the process, taking some, winning some. And I even got to his style. I even said nothing about his style. But I guess that's a video for another day, man. Gregorio was good, man. Oh, my pop's up in here. Hey, what's going on, Dad? He says Sugar Ray Robinson fought Jake LaMotta 6 times. Yeah, Dad, and then they fought like they was literally fighting like weeks after each other, wasn't it?
Hold on, I gotta run in the house and grab my work keys quick.
All right. Gregorio says fight on YouTube, Kuzman versus Joyce. Yeah, that fight is on YouTube. Kuzman caught Joyce and got him up out of there in 32 seconds. Carlton Penn says he think Frank Sanchez will be fighting shortly as well. He has a fight coming up. I don't think they've has an opponent for Frank yet. Southside Boxing says he's like the Jared Hurd of heavyweight. Are you talking about Joe Joyce? Yeah, he is. It's like he gets offended if you don't hit him in his face. J Dill was good, brother. He says, blood, who you have, Brazil or Joyce? I'm gonna go with Joyce, man. I think Brazil then man, he done took some punishment, yo. That Wilder KO, that was a massacre. AJ then put it on him, and even fights and he didn't won, bro. Joyce then took some. I mean, not Joyce, but Brazil then took some hands, man. Even Mansour was giving it to him when he fought Mansour back in the day. The fight with Israel Gono was a classic to me. But that dude then took some hard shots. Kangaroo Jack said there's only one fight we all want to see, AJ versus Fury. My prediction, Tyson Fury will outbox AJ for 12 rounds. Yeah, it's undisputed, man. Who doesn't want to see undisputed? And we just haven't had it in so long, so it's like we have another excuse. It's like, damn, so we just ain't gonna never have undisputed, man, because there's always gonna be somebody that needs a rematch or a third fight or a fourth fight or such and such, you know, deserves a mandatory shot. It's like we're always gonna have an excuse, man. But the WBO did say it's up to Usyk. I just don't, unless they give Usyk some money he can't refuse, I don't see Usyk not wanting his WBO title shot. He's getting older too. Usyk isn't no 25-year-old, man. You know, but then, hey, money talks and bullshit walks a million miles. So if they were to offer him some money he couldn't refuse and let him just, you know, get a little bit more rest. But I just think Usyk's probably going to push for his WBO shot. That would be my guess. And one thing to touch on James again, man. I think they don't want. There's a few reasons why I don't think. And it's like, who the hell? Like these dudes who's vote, man. These guys who are voting on this stuff, man. You know, they be having personal vendettas against these fighters. Let's not try to play pretend. They're human. I don't get what Mr. Boxing such and such is a writer of the box is a part of the Boxing Writers Association of America. I don't give a damn. That's a title. He's still a man, and he still has feelings and can get his feelings heard and all that. These dudes have personal vendettas. And James Toney is a shit talker. He'll put a cigar in his mouth and say, fuck you. And you know what I'm saying? Coming, you know, James did it his way, right? Like Frank Sinatra, he did it his way. You know what I mean? Did it my way. So I think his mouth is why these boxing writers of America, you know what I'm saying, don't want to put him in there. But who even listens to the media anymore, man? Like, that shit is so yesterday. Nobody cares. Like, man, people rather come to listen to, about heavyweights. They rather come listen to me. A lot of these boxing writers and these dudes that's in charge like that, me having these jobs for ESPN, man, now they want to be YouTubers, right? 5, 6, 7. When I first started this 10 years ago, this was like weird, right? Like the boxing writers to make fun of us. Now they want to make YouTube channels, and their YouTube channels ain't even popular than the guys that's here. I can get more in a live. I had like 115 people yesterday just opening up and went live talking about Anthony, just talking about heavyweight stuff yesterday. These dudes be working for these networks for an innumerable amount of years and jump on YouTube and can't even get nobody to their lives, can barely get people to their page to subscribe and listen to them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say this, a lot of us, and even, you know, like somebody like Curtis Anderson or Blood Boxing or Scrapbook Boxing or somebody that has years on me, I'd rather listen to them, you know, talk about who they're going to vote in the Hall of Fame than some damn Dan, you know, or whoever has those credentials to make the votes. I don't even know, because I don't even care. What is a Hall of Fame and you ain't got James Toney in it? Come on, man. Come on, man. That just don't make no sense. Coach K, what's good, brother? Yeah, and Ward did his thing, bro. And I'm not saying Andre Ward shouldn't be a Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, how do you put somebody much younger like that in before you put James Toney? Or they should have made an exception and got Toney in there as well. But nah, Ward did it though, man. And he fought in the tournament, and I big respect for him for fighting in that type of tournament, not just any old tournament against Larry Lunchmeat and Joe Blow the Journeyman. I'm talking about a real tournament with the top guys where all the belts are involved. A lot of guys wouldn't take place in that. They'll take the Michael Spinks route. Y'all remember when Michael Spinks and Butch Lewis decided for him not to fight in that HBO tournament? They said, shit, the hell with that, man. You about to, we just want Mike Tyson. We don't want to participate in y'all tournament. You know what I'm saying? So he went on ahead. I think it was the IBF belt he had. He went on ahead and just let that on go. He said, look, I'll just walk around as being the lineal champion, the man that beat Holmes twice. Y'all can fight for these straps. I'm gonna just wait at the end. And that was a boss move. Shouts out to Butch Lewis, man. That was a great way to work with your fighter and get him in position. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, though, yeah, Ward fought in the tournament, bro. So, and he was a great amateur, like I was saying, Coach K. The dude only lost like one amateur fight or something crazy like that. Gold medal. I mean, he did it the right way. Finished on the feet. He did it the right way. But how you gonna have JT up in there though, man? For sure, yeah. Shouts out to my dad, man. Let me see. My man Keith Robinson says James Toney was not friendly with the press, and that played a part. Yeah, I was just talking about that. He got a mouth on him. But that is some lame, sensitive stuff. Well, you know, we're not going to vote him in because, you know, after James Toney fought Sam Peter, he wouldn't allow me in his locker room to do an interview. So come on, man. We can't have no type of dudes on the panel, man. We can't. You know, JT, I went to Wildcard to watch him spar when, you know, he was getting ready for one of his fights, and he blew cigar smoke in my face, and Freddie Roach didn't do anything about it. Like, that's what, I mean, because what else did he do to you for you to not vote him in? What else? It was his boxing ability? Was it his resume? Was it because he popped against John Ruiz and he has some issues? Like, I mean, was it that? They need to tell us why they're not voting these guys in, or do they do that? I'm not privy to that. Maybe they do come out and say why they didn't vote a guy in, but some questions got to be answered here, man. Again, no disrespect to Vladimir Klitschko and Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Great fighters, man. But James Toney not being in there, that's just a travesty to me. Just a travesty to me, man. I think it's just BS. BS, man, to the highest order. Curtis Anders says the true boxing historians are just about going. And you know who else is an underrated historian? And I know you guys is listening to me. You guys already know this. Mike Tyson. When you really sit Mike down and get him to open up, and man, he'll tell you about fighters from the third. Because if you know Mike and you follow Mike, you know that Mike was he had access to that library, and with Jacobs and Caton and all them, so he would be able to watch all the old fighters from the 30s and even Cuss. He'll sit down with Cuss and watch guys from the 30s and 40s and 20s and mimic their styles and the way they approach fights and the way they fought fights. You know, maybe we need Mike Tyson to be on the panel to vote. You know, but man, I'd rather listen to, you know, guys shit. Some of you guys that's on here, man. Coach K and Blood, Capital Type. A lot of guys that are in here right now. Kurt Anderson, you know, I'd rather listen to you guys talk about that, man. Like for heavyweight stuff, I don't need to go to anybody. Bro, I haven't went to, besides just somebody putting out that a fight got signed. Like, rather than little stuff like that, I don't go for anybody for anything. I just do my own research. Not because, you know, I don't want to learn, but ain't really nothing to learn. I'm the one doing the teaching. Just do your own research. Look, the world is too advanced now for us to have to wait on anybody to tell us anything. Or our opinions about, let me correct that. For us to have our own opinion, for us to draw our own opinion. There's YouTube, there's Daily Motion, there's a trillion websites. You can get in contact with fighters by just going on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. You know what I'm saying? This ain't 1991. This ain't 1988. Like, that shit's in the past, man. You know, we don't have to wait until the first Tuesday of every month to go to your local corner store to pick up Boxing Digest and Ring Magazine and KO Magazine and all that. Them days are over with. Finito. D-Style, what's good, brother? J. Rules Theory, my man D-Style says, I'm better writer than 90% of these boxing writers. I'm not even lying, laugh out loud. Yeah, shit. I second that. I wrote a few articles. Shout out to my man Carcino and Sean from Boxing Socialist. But when I first came over to YouTube, Carcino was one of the guys I was rocking with first, along with D-Style and Blood and all that. And they had a website, I'm sure it's still up, Boxing Socialist. And I wrote about 80 articles on Boxing Socialist back in the day, back in 2010, 11. So, you know what I mean? I got 4 years of college under my belt too. So I'm a good writer. I'm articulate. I know how to get my point across in an eloquent fashion. You know what I mean? So I don't need to wait on anybody. None of us, not just me, y'all, none of us need to wait on anybody. Do your own research. There's BoxRec out there. It's too much technology, man, for us to wait on Kevin Iole. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to wait on Kevin Iole. Shouts out to him, but I don't need to wait on you. You know what I mean? Yes, Coach K, Tyson does love Jack Dempsey. That's where he got his mystique from, coming out with the shorts and even the part he had in his haircut back in the day. Y'all remember when Mike had a part with the little patch? Y'all remember Mike had the little patch in the middle of his head, the little bald spot patch? Or y'all remember when Mike had the V with the little chili bowl joint with the where the points meet in the back? That's that Dynamite Kid, Mike Tyson. Coach K said, yeah, that English 101 and the English 102. I get it, man. And shout out to you and good luck to you, man. I did hear you say you're back in school, or you're in school right now, man. So get that degree, bro. Go and get that degree. Knock that out. Retros for life. 79 boxing was good, brother. Psychology, Coach K. Psychology. And I still got about 5 of my psychology books in my house that I have from school. There you go, Coach K. He says, I only look to your channel for heavyweights. Yeah. So, man, with that said, man, I'm going to jump up off here, y'all. Don't forget, though, Stephen Shaw, 13-0, taking on Demolition Man Pinchuk tomorrow. Good action, heavyweights. And then the next day, you got Michael Hunter in action as well. And we should have been having Fury versus Wilder 3 on Saturday, but that's neither here nor there, man. Until next time, y'all be good. I'm gone.